Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TD Pod, week 2 of your March Madness coverage from me, Chris, and co-host Tyler. Tyler, let's let them know what's on the agenda today for week 2.
We got a lot, Chris. We're going to start you out with some quick conference tournament picks. We got to let you know who we think's going to win the major tournaments this year. Next, we're going to see some seed history, how far each seed has gotten, and how many times, their records, and their first round record. Then we're going to use a little bit of seed breakdown. I'm going to use KenPom to kind of show you the difference between the last few seasons and what that might mean for potential upsets going into the tournament. Then we're going to break down a lot of charts, graphs, and analytics for you guys. You're going to love it. We got some contenders, some Cinderellas, and some bubble teams. And yeah, I think that's about it for us today. And we have one more
for you guys. We're gonna get a little nerdy, basically, is what we're hinting at here today. But we're looking forward to it. And without further ado, let's dive right into our Power 5 Conference Championship winners. Who we're thinking is gonna take the cake, Tyler? We're gonna start with the ACC. Tyler, you want to speak to your hot pick?
You know, this might come out as crazy to some of you guys, but look, I picked Miami. They're dangerous. They've only lost, I don't know off the top of my head, like 6 or 7 games all year. And Duke, I know the favorite's Duke, the best team in the country, number 1 overall seed, future to be. But look, they're out 2 of their starters, right? They're down Caleb Foster, their starting point guard, and Patrick Ngongba, their starting center. And those guys average a lot of points and assists a game. And combined, I don't like... Duke's not going to be the same quality team, and they're probably going to tone it down and not risk those injuries. So I have Miami. Chris?
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you on that. Not that I don't think Duke can't win.
They definitely can.
It's more so just the injury bug that plays into it, and those guys combined average 20 points a game. Combined. So I'm taking Virginia. I mean, I feel like Virginia has the chops. So does Miami. So I think it'll be one or the other, or it's going to be Duke. I mean, I don't see anybody else making the run there. So moving on to the SEC, Tyler, you're taking the big dogs to win that one out, huh?
Give me the Swamp Puppies, man. I mean, they've dominated all year. Their biggest competition is Arkansas and Alabama, and I guess you could say Tennessee. But they just have too much size and too much defense. Florida does, and these other teams just don't match up well against them. So again, I'm sticking with the favorite, the Gators. Chris?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Arkansas. I really like Darius Acuff Jr. I think he's a hooper, man. And looking at the SEC bracket, Arkansas does have a pretty favorable side of the bracket. Their semifinal game would be against Alabama. And I think they match up with Alabama. So I'm gonna roll with the pigs. Woo pig. On to the Big 12. I'm rolling with Arizona here, Tyler. I'm taking the big dogs over there. They've looked consistent all year long. They've had some moments, some slips, but I see them taking it all. But you don't agree, huh?
I mean, let's be real, Chris. A Cougar beats a Wildcat. Come on. I mean, Arizona stretch has to end. I'm feeling spicy. I mean, Houston's poised to do it. They almost beat them earlier. Give me the Cougars.
Hey, I am a fan of a good Cougar, am I right? On to the Big Ten. Me and Tyler are combined on this one. I mean, you can tell by the jersey he's wearing. It's Michigan. Michigan made, Michigan proud, Pontiac made. Shout out Michigan. We got them winning this thing, and I don't think it's going to be close. We don't have to speak too much about that one. On to the Big East. Tyler, I'm really liking the pick out of you here. I'm not going to lie. You want to speak to your Red Storm selection?
Look, St. John's already split with UConn. They have a lot easier side. It's a 4-league team, or 4-team league this year for the Big East, and 3 of those teams are all on the same side of the bracket with UConn. Nova, Seton Hall, UConn. St. John's is a cakewalk, and UConn kind of chokes in this tournament usually. So,
yeah, no, I agree with that. But obviously on screen I don't. I'm gonna go with UConn. I hate UConn. I honestly don't know why I picked UConn. I hate Dan Hurley. I hate UConn, but I still think they're going to win it, as much as that sucks to say. But we'll see what happens. I hope Tyler's right, honestly. But yeah, those are our Power 5 conference picks. Where are we pushing to next, Tyler?
We're gonna look at the seed history. It's pretty interesting actually. So first, we're gonna show you their overall records all time and their best finish. As you can see here, overwhelming favorite, the one seeds, 26 times. It's obvious. Favorites are favorited for a reason. Um, Something I like to note out is five seeds never won championship. I think that's pretty interesting considering you have teams all the way down to eight seed winning a tournament. Um, Another thing I thought was interesting was if we're looking at our top seeds is uh, the two seeds have only won five times ever, which is kind of crazy to me considering there's been dozens and dozens of tournaments now. Um, yeah, I just something to keep in mind when going into March. If you are thinking about picking an upset potentially, remember that the one seeds usually win. Chris, anything to comment?
Yeah, well, I see why my brackets typically bust. I'm a 2C Glazer most years, so maybe maybe that might be a problem. But I think a fun one to look at. It's not a crazy big deal, but 15 seed making Sweet 16 is pretty legendary. Shout out St. Peter's. Just wanted to give love to Doug Eddard and the boys of St. Peter's. So that's about it. I think overall it's a pretty interesting graphic. And we're gonna see what happens this year. If we're talking weird seed runs, uh, I think the 11 seed is the weirdest of all. Always, we saw with NC State in 2024. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it though.
Next we're gonna show you a little bit of first round seed versus seed. It matters. The first round's the craziest of March. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's what we live for, really.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm calling off for Thursday and Friday. I don't know about the rest of you guys doing nothing, but I would love to see AI drink how many beers I'm going to drink. Okay, let's just do that. I love to see AI bust their fucking bracket day one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, here we are. Something I want to point out. It's usually a topic of conversation every year. Look at the 8 versus 9. The 9 holds the edge, Chris. Isn't that weird?
I know. It's just so. That's just kind of college hoops in March. I mean, they're just so equal. The 8 and 9 seeds. It's really hard to pit them against each other every single year. But shout out the 9 seeds, man. They're doing their damn job.
Something else I want to comment on real quick. It's kind of cool to me that the 7 and 10 and the 6 and 11 literally identical. I don't know why there's an asterisk there. Anyway, but they're identical. And another thing I'd like to point out is just because it's a triple digit doesn't mean it's close. The 5 is versus 12 is almost the exact same percentage wise. I mean, 5 more wins, that's it. I mean, there's such a big drop off between a 4 losing to a 5 losing. Something else to keep in mind when picking upsets this year. So next with seedings, this kind of leads me to my personal theory. 2 years ago, in 2024, we saw one of the most busiest, most upset brackets ever. It was crazy. There was so many good teams. It was honestly cinema. UConn ended up winning the whole thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Last year, we saw Chalk City. It was pretty boring for as far as an upset stand goes. And I think we might be seeing some more of that this year, at least with the top seeds. I want to direct you to these net ratings on the far right side of the table I'm showing you. And you can see Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Florida. Those are top 10 all time for this guy's statistics. These statistics matter. They're on the team sheets when they're picking the tournaments out, like the seedings on for the committee. So they do matter. Like this is like important stuff to them at least. And you can look here and see that again, those top 4 teams are all better than the last 4 teams last year, just about. Bigger gaps. And if you want to go even a year prior, you can look down to like a team like Villanova at 30. They're 21 point plus. That means they're going to beat the. That means this metric thinks they beat the average team by 21 points in the league, in the whole sport. And if you go over to like 2 years ago, that gets you all the way to 15th. They literally move up. That's how much better. They're probably like a 4 seed. In this term, they're going to be like an 8 or 7. And then last year is pretty similar numbers. So that's why I'm predicting personally a boring bracket. I don't want to see that, but that's might be going that direction. Granted, the entire sport's just better this year. Whether you want to blame NIL or the Europeans coming over or whatever you want to say, or just maybe more talent acquisition from just generations. But do you have anything to add on that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed opinions on KenPom to say the least. I do think there are some flaws to KenPom. Like for example, a lot of the early season matchups are relied on preseason rankings of teams that might not be as good as they actually are, and that plays into KenPom. The wins and situational basketball isn't fully accounted for in KenPom. Winning isn't heavily weighted fully. There's a high variety in terms of single elimination games. I mean, there's a long list of things people have bones with to pick about KenPom. I'm one of those people. I don't always believe KenPom shows the true rankings, but I can't fully disagree with the fact that we were talking about it earlier, Tyler, that you were saying that this could be another year of a 4-1 seed Final Four. And I
think it's a very strong possibility.
And I'm gonna probably have to agree with you on that. I mean, unless Illinois, Houston can make something happen here. I'm not always backing KenPom, but you know what? With the point you just made here today, I might have to back you a little bit. But we'll see what happens. I mean, there's some bias in KenPom, style bias. There's a lot of different things. So I'll agree to disagree today.
Yeah, again, I mean, I think the biggest disparity is top 4, which, I mean, those last 4 on your bracket's what matters the most. But, I mean, if everyone has it, won't end up mattering if one of the teams loses anyway.
Yeah,
but,
we'll have to see what happens.
So, let's get into some metrics, Chris. Since we were talking about seeds so much, let's start with the potential underseeded teams based on bracketology, right?
Absolutely.
This is from evanmia.com. Does a great job over there. It's a similar metric type of stuff to KenPom. He does it a different way, but similar type of idea, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, I mean, you see it all on this graph right here. Teams below this black line are typically going to be overseeded. Above the dotted line will be underseeded. Some highlighted teams on here right now. This is a little old. Florida, they think it's going to be underseeded, but this is before Florida kind of really cemented itself as a #1 seed. But, I mean, St. Mary's is quality. Louisville, which I don't know how I feel about. I kind of disagree with that personally. But Santa Clara is going to be underseeded. That's one to watch out for. USF, assuming they win the American.
Yeah.
Some overseeded teams potentially. BYU, Texas Tech, UCF.
Villanova. If you guys saw episode 1, like I said, I told you guys to fade the Wildcats this year, and you're seeing a good reason as to why. So, continue on.
Sorry. UNC, they don't have their best player. Wisconsin, inconsistent guard play. Can either have them win against anyone or lose against anyone. So that's probably why they're on this list. Clemson lost one of their best players. Georgia's just pretty fucking ass. I'm not gonna lie to you, pretty fucking mediocre. I like Miami, but they're. I'm just a hater. What can I say?
That's fair.
You won't see a Liberty on here. They fucking lost today.
Missouri State. You lost to Missouri State. Yeah, that's a bad loss for the Flames to miss out on March. But if we're talking about conference picks, we're looking back. Tyler's calling hootie hoo. Tyler called Kennesaw State, and you know what? It's as of right now, it's only been one round, but it's aging like fine wine. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I think there are a lot of interesting ones that stick out here. One of them to me is also highlighted is Arkansas that I'm high on, even though winning the SEC. I think there's a lot of potential there, a lot of upside. They had a great year last year with Cal. We'll see if they can do it again and go dancing. But another one, like you touched on, Miami of Ohio. A lot of people have them as a Cinderella, and honestly, I want them to be a Cinderella. But we'll have to see. I mean,
the metrics don't like them, Chris.
The metrics.
I like them. That's all that fucking matters.
I like them too. We'll have to see. Another issue with Texas Tech as well, with Toppin being out. That one's pretty obvious. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's also
Kansas.
Interesting. Yeah, Kansas. I think it's also interesting to see Gonzaga right on the line here, just slightly above it. Iowa State just slightly below it. There's a lot of interesting ones. Even looking up at Arizona, you know. So I know it's a little outdated. So you'll have to have some uh, leniency. What's the word I'm looking for? Leniency. There we
Leniency.
go. Either way,
Don't be. I mean, don't take it as gospel. Again, it's like probably like a few weeks outdated, but I mean, just use your brain. You know.
absolutely. So yeah, pushing on to the next, Tyler. What are we looking at?
We're gonna peel over to this graphic. It's called the Trapezoid of Excellence. There's a dude named Ryan Hammer. Sorry, Ryan. He coined this on Twitter or X. Basically, to him, this means if you're in this trapezoid, you have a lot better chance at advancing March. This shows your net, which is another metric the NCAA made and uses to decide seeding. And it goes on with their pace. So basically, this means slow and fast. You can adapt to slow and fast and different styles of opponents. Your way on the right means you play super fast. Way on the left, super slow. Some teams I didn't expect to be in here. I'm surprised Virginia's in here, and I'm surprised St. Louis is in here. Personally, any other surprises to this trapezoid, Chris?
One sneaking in at the bottom of the trapezoid that I'm kind of a fan of because I'm high on them. It's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is one that I'm also surprised to see in here, but they do play at a pretty fast pace. I like to see that. I'm excited to see how they do in March. Yeah, that's a good one to see. Another one I like to see sneaking in is St. Mary's. St. Mary's, I was high on them as well on my sleeper picks to make a run, and I'm glad to see both teams in the trapezoid. We'll have to see how March goes at the end of the day, but I do like to see that. So,
and I want to point out some outliers here. Iowa, so slow,
yeah,
which is interesting. And I wanted to point out another team. Where do they go? Shit. Oh, yeah, Houston. I'm surprised Houston's this slow. I didn't know they played this slow. Miami is also pretty quick pace. Miami, Ohio, that is. Georgia's really fast paced. Again, it's cool to see how it stacks up against each other.
Yeah.
Next spot I want to go to is we're going to go to the offensive versus defensive ranking, or rating, which basically is a ranking. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Closer you are to that top right, the better you're going to be overall. I mean, you can see Illinois, best offense in the country, but pretty middling as far as defense goes. Duke and Michigan, obviously some standouts. Gonzaga is pretty spectacular defensive, but then again, they play in a poor conference, so you're not really sure how that goes with their adjustments. Anything that catches your eye, Chris?
There's a couple. One of them being Miami that I'm looking at the most here. I mean, they're kind of in that zone to where it's like they're good enough to maybe make a run, but also could lose first round. I mean, it's a scary place to be in, I feel like, with the offensive rating and defensive rating kind of being I mean, they have an offensive advantage, obviously, but kind of just in a weird tier alongside Tennessee and Virginia, High Point there as well. I mean, they're all kind of floating around the same area. And another one that sticks out to me here is Purdue. Purdue with really, really, really poor defensive rating, which to me, going into the season, if you told me that, I would have been a little bit surprised. They have a couple trees, to say the least, at Purdue, but it's really the on-ball guard defense that's kind of struggled this year for them, specifically Braden Smith. He typically is a pretty good defender, but this year, not as smooth as people would have liked to see, especially on off-ball screens. But anyways, that's a little bit down a rabbit hole. But yeah, those are the ones that kind of stick out to me here.
I wanted to point out, I think the worst defensive power team on here, or offensive power team, I'm trying to find it. I think it might be, that's going to be in the tournament, that is.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually all pretty... LIU. I was talking about power. I was talking about the power teams. It's surprisingly okay. Kansas. And, for a team with the number 1 overall pick, supposedly... Bro's allergic to playing basketball. They're right on top of TCU, which is pretty shocking considering they're going to have a huge seed disparity when it comes. TCU's probably gonna be like an 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kansas might be a 3 or 4. So that's pretty interesting to say as well. And look at Nova right there, almost in the dead center.
You know us, man. Definition of average.
That's the Atlanta Hawks. But
another one to
next
look
we're
out
gonna
there. Sorry, before to cut you off, is Troy. Look at Troy in that bottom left quadrant. Poor offensive rating and poor defensive rating as well. I mean, that's something we will touch on later. But sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was gonna say that. I was about to say that after your comment. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're fine. You're
Absolutely.
fine. Oh, also Auburn dog shit offense. Can we note that real quick? And
Yeah,
Queens, holy shit, Queens is dog shit. Oh wait, no, that's not offense. That's defense. I'm sorry. My bad. Queens and Auburn, terrible defense. Holy shit. And I guess a lot of SEC teams are down here. You see Oklahoma, Texas,
Mississippi State,
Alabama. So anyway, next we're gonna peel over to the 2-point percentage versus 3-point percentage. Pretty self-explanatory. You can see some of the best shooting teams in the country here, at least on the 2-point line, would be Michigan and Miami. 2 points are consistent, they're safe, and Duke and Indiana, but I don't think Indiana's going to be making the tournament. They might. We'll see how that ends up. They lost it against Northwestern. But, some of the top performers as far as 2-point goes. And 3-point, we see St. Louis, dangerous, Akron.
Brandon, what I'm really interested in there. I mean, they're going to be a fun team if they can make shit happen, to say the least.
You said Akron? You cut out.
Yeah, Akron. The Zips. Absolutely.
Don't take your eyes off Yale. And Tulsa might win the American. I'm not sure, but Yale's looks to be number 2 on this chart. St. Mary's is high. Again, very volatile with the 3-point shot typically, but if you can hit it, man, you're dangerous.
Yeah.
Anything else that really sticks out to you?
I'd say Furman here with the 2-point percentage as well. They're kind of towards the front end. And then obviously you said it earlier, Miami of Ohio. They live and die in the paint, to say the least, and you guys will be seeing that very soon. But yeah, they're not too much to touch on here. Just some quick stats for you guys to look into for picking your brackets. So
look at Florida on the island over there. You see that?
I know they're floating. I mean,
it's weird. They don't shoot a good 3-ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the guard play that's been tough in terms of 3-ball. I mean, Xavier Lee's really not shot from a good clip from 3, as well as Boogie Fland. I mean, they're both ball dominant guards. Boogie tends to drive, Xavier tends to dish. So they're not really getting that 3-point production you would typically see from a team like Florida. But yeah.
This is one Chris brought up. Chris, you want to explain this graph? The rebounds?
Yeah, so I just think you win the game on the glass at the end of the day. And if you are shooting a team with maybe not the highest percentage of clip, and you can grab those rebounds offensive and defensively, you're going to win the ball game. I mean, I think rebounds are always the most important stat that people sometimes want to gloss over comparatively to shooting percentage, field goal percentage, things like that. I think if you're winning the game on the boards, you're winning the game on the floor, end of the day. And looking at that, I mean, who is the one that you're seeing, Tyler, that's right at the top that might, I mean, to me, shocked me a little bit when you're looking at this?
Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew, don't get me wrong, they got some trees. They got some big fellas. But I mean,
that's offensive too. Holy shit.
They're getting boards, man. They're getting boards. And to me, I mean, when you see something like this, it makes me want to lean towards Tennessee in March, at least to make it to a Sweet 16. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe deeper, but I mean, like my personal opinion, you win the game on the glass, and that's pretty exciting to see with Tennessee. So Florida as well. I mean, when you look at Florida, why do you think Florida's where they are? You know what I mean? It's just super interesting, and then you can say that with a lot of teams: Illinois, Virginia, Duke. I mean, Duke's not killing the offensive glass, but they're killing the glass in general. Another one, St. Mary's, one that I've been so high on, and that's because they're grabbing boards. They're grabbing boards. Michigan State. I mean, and when you look at it, offensive rebound rise, they're still a top 15 team in the country grabbing offensive boards. So you win the game on the glass, man. And I think, if it keeps going this way, Tennessee dominates on the glass in March. you never know what's going to happen. But I think we do know where Florida is going to be at the end of the day. They're going to be in that Final Four. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens, though.
I want to direct the audience's attention to the left side of the graph. Look at McNeese and Georgia on their defensive rebounding percentage. It's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
Those are two teams that will be in the tournament. Everyone else you see near them are Power 5 schools that will not be dancing. The next closest is Bama as far as defensive goes, and Bama's below the average, or below the median, I'm sorry, as far as offensive goes, too. They're a possession team. They don't really rely on rebounds that much anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It does matter, but not as much as it would to a slower paced team, like in Iowa, if I could fucking find them on here.
Something that
I,
sticks out to
I don't
me
see them.
looking at this is once again you're seeing Kansas on the bottom left quadrant here. I mean they're dominating this bottom left quadrant. I mean it's actually unbelievable, honestly, what we're seeing out of Kansas. And one that might confuse you when you're looking at Miami of Ohio, they're dominating the defensive glass, but offensive, they're a 25% offensive rebounding team. You might be like, what the hell is going on? Why would I pick them as my Cinderella? Don't worry, Tyler and I do have a graph to back up as to why they're not getting the offensive glass as much. So don't be too concerned there. But yeah, it's a little interesting to look at for sure. So on to the next, Tyler. Where are we headed to?
We are headed to another one of your takes. Turnover reverse effective field goal percentage. Chris, break it down. What this
Yeah.
means?
I mean, my big thing with this is I believe it shows a lot of longevity for a team in March, and in teams in basketball at the end of the day. I mean, if you're not turning the ball over and you're efficient and you're shooting the ball well, you're going to be a team that's going to be tough to handle. And one of those teams you can see that a lot of people might catch their eyes on, it's Miami of Ohio, it's Purdue. You know what I mean? And then Yale's kind of floating around here. Their field goal percentage 56%. You know what I mean? But then you're looking at the other side of it. Michigan, a little surprising, honestly, with the turnovers. But when you have Elliot Cadeau as your point guard, I can understand it. And
I
then
was gonna say, if you've watched us, you would. It's not surprising.
and then St. Louis up there as well. I mean, St. Louis has looked pretty positive on in terms of almost every other graph we've looked at. But this is one where it can hurt them. It's not fully bad. They're not all the way to the left like our boys LIU fins up, but they're definitely struggling in the turnover department. But they might make up for it in field goal percentage. So, anything that sticks out to you, Tyler, when you look at this?
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's had some bad games this year, and we've been saved by our field goal percentage. I mean, ball security hasn't been perfect, like I just said, but I mean, when you're shooting at 50% from three or the two, I mean, teams just can't stop you when you are like when you're not wasting possessions both by missing and turnovers. Like, so Michigan's been able to be saved by that, but like St. Louis, they have some like a few ugly losses this year because imagine they're just not hitting their shots that night and they're still turning the ball over. Um, like Chris said, LIU, what the fuck?
Poor guys, man. Poor guys.
450 is ridiculous. Let's see here. Again, I think it's impressive. Houston's really kind of been all over the place on these graphs. They're lower here on field goal percentage, they're lower on pace of play, but they don't turn the ball over. They play smart fundamental basketball, and their coach is good.
Yeah, that's one thing I was gonna touch on was Houston. I mean, you see it in some of their games this year, especially against, I believe it was Arizona. I mean, when they have Fleming and they have Sharp, when those guys are having tough shooting nights, I mean, it really tells the tale of Houston, and you see it here on this graph. I mean, that's my one concern for them going into March when those two guys are cold, and if they're cold at the same time. I don't know. It can cause for a little bit of question marks for them. Another one I thought was interesting here, Tyler, was both Arkansas and Wisconsin. Arkansas is in a great spot in this graph, in my opinion, but Wisconsin, they're in the top right quadrant over here. But one that I really like is Wisconsin. I mean, we've spoken about Wisconsin on here a couple times. I don't know. I mean, I know the field goal percentage isn't perfect. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, That's where you want to be if you're anywhere on this graph. And I don't know, they could be a fun team to watch.
Uh, two more to add. High Point right behind Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
Um, and then another one. We were just gassing up Tennessee, but I mean they're on the far left of this
I
graph.
know.
As far as tournament teams go, they're like fourth, and they're below the median here for field goal percentage. So again, we gas and Troy's right behind them. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
They're
true. Yeah.
they're it's hidden, man. Um, yeah, that's something that just shocked me just looking through this because I didn't dive into it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean Florida's also turns the ball over. That's
Yeah.
probably
There's a lot of things, that's why we're trying to show you guys all the stats at home. I mean, there's a lot of things to try to look at when you're making these picks, and there are things to be concerned about, things not to be concerned about, and that's for you to decide at home. We're just supplying you the facts. So whatever you guys think and whatever you're thinking, go ahead. But we're just here to
don't be
give
afraid
you
to pause the video and rewatch it as much as you want. Okay,
absolutely,
don't
absolutely.
be afraid to just keep rewatching the video. Okay, and like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to do any of that
Oh,
stuff.
go and leave a comment. Leave a comment. Don't be afraid to do any
Leave
of
a
that.
comment. We want to
But,
talk to you guys.
absolutely. But yeah, Tennessee definitely is a little concerning on this one. They can win the game on the glass, but you can't win the game if you can't get the ball in the hoop. So on to the next, Tyler.
We're gonna peel off to a pretty cool chart.
My favorites.
We're gonna show you the shot charts of these teams, and we're gonna start off with some bubble teams. And if you look at this, wow, I mean, wow. For example, Auburn. Look at this 3-point arc, man. The right side of the arc, fucking no man land, and they don't even really score that much in the paint. I'm not really sure where all their points are coming from. And then you look over down to or to the right, I'm sorry, to SMU, big point team. You see they have some solid hotspots on the arc, consistent scoring. You see their percentage on the bottom right next to their logo. That's their average percentage, 55.9, which is the second high, or no, average on this list. Auburn being the lowest. Chris, who do you want to touch on?
I got a couple I want to touch on. The first one's Indiana. The biggest reason why I want to speak on Indiana is if we're looking at their field goal percentage, look how many three balls they've shooten. I mean, compared to twos, I mean they're out shooting their 2-pointers by over 30 here. I mean they're live and die by the three kind of team. And you're seeing it here by their shooting percentage. They shoot 35% from three. They got heavy hot spots, heavy cold spots. I mean, it's just a lot to look at there with Indiana, which is why they're on the bubble. They got pros, they got cons, probably more cons than pros, but they're trying to go dancing. But them losing in the second round to Northwestern tonight definitely did not help. We'll have to see with Indiana. I think they're a fun team. Who's your daddy? We'll have to see. Another one to touch on, they're not really a bubble team, but we really just wanted to include them because of their chart. When you're looking at it, it's just really beautiful. That's Miami of Ohio. Another team that shoots the three ball well, but they do a really good job in the paint, which is obviously where their hottest hotspot is, which is what I was talking about earlier. You might be concerned, Miami of Ohio not dominating the offensive boards. Well, from inside 3-point range, they're shooting over 60% from the floor, dominating inside the paint. They're a pretty solid team of scoring. We're gonna have to see how they do defensively. Obviously, I mean, when a lot of people, especially on social media, almost hate Miami of Ohio, and I just don't understand why. I'm gonna go on a little tangent here. It's gonna be a quick 30 seconds, Tyler. I'll try to keep it short. If I keep going, cut me off. But I don't understand the propaganda against Miami of Ohio. I don't why people don't like them. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Everyone wants a Cinderella. Every year in March, everyone's like, oh, we want this team to make a run. We want 11 seed. We want 12 seed. We want 13 seed. Oh my God, St. Peter's, you're the best. 16, Sweet 16. That's so amazing. You guys rock. Miami of Ohio, undefeated, gets the coverage finally, a small market team, and we're shitting on them? We're shitting on them for being undefeated. It doesn't matter what their strength of schedule is. Look at Auburn. They're dog shit. And they have a tough... Now, I know they have a tough strength of schedule, but they're dog shit. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just upset. I don't get why people are so pissed at Miami of Ohio in comment sections on Twitter, at wherever it is. It's a real joke because they're a Cinderella that's propped up to be a Cinderella. I mean, it's there for the taking, and we just want to shit on them. We just want to shit on them. We just want to call them weak. March is made of teams that don't necessarily have the best strength of schedule, but they go on runs. St. Peter's is a great example. NC State, when they were 11 seed, made the Final Four. Oh, we're talking more Final Four runs? You know who I'm going to go to? St. Bonaventure. I mean, there's some not St. Bonaventure. Wait, was it St. Bonaventure? Lady Jean. I don't even know. I can't remember their name.
Loyola Chicago.
Thank you so much. And the Bonnies. The Bonnies have made runs too. I mean, it's a fucking joke, Tyler. And I know this is really off topic, and that went a little bit too long. That's probably a minute and a half. But that fires me the fuck up. Let's go Miami of Ohio. Everyone else on the board, really not as important. We should probably get going here. I kind of overkilled that segment, but
yeah, it was passionate. I didn't cut you off because it was passionate, and I do want to touch on the last two teams real quick, just for the sake of acknowledging them. VCU, another bubble team, potentially an at-large, or maybe to stamp their ticket. We'll see if they win their conference tournament or not in the A10. But I mean, not a super impressive shot chart, and same with Texas. I mean, they're a big paint team. They kind of like that left side, as you can see. They've shot a lot from the two and under the basket, 1,100. But about average shooting wise, solid team. They should be in March. They did lose today, though, right?
Yeah,
did Texas lose today?
They did lose.
It's Ole Miss, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's that, and we're gonna compare that to some of the top teams in the country. This is what actual excellence looks like, unless you're Florida from the 3-point line. But I mean, look at these shot charts. They're very dynamic, in my opinion, considering. I mean, look how uniform Michigan's is, and look how spread out and almost all-encompassing of the floor Houston's is. Chris, what do you have to say?
I think there's some beautiful ones, and I think there are some maybe not so beautiful ones, but overall, for comparing them, they're way more beautiful than what we just looked at. So I think a big one, obviously, to look at is Arizona and Michigan. I mean, more so Arizona in this specific case, because they're living and dying by the 2-ball. I mean, the 3-ball, I mean, they shoot it, but I mean, look at it comparatively. I mean, they've only shot 510 threes this whole season, and everyone else on the board is over 700. Like, they live and die by the interior postman. That's what it is for Arizona. It's going to be really interesting. And they kind of live by the midi as well. But it's really interesting to look at, specifically with Arizona. Another one of those that dominates the paint is Duke, though, and Michigan. I mean, Duke kind of has, looks like a bit better of a field goal percentage inside the paint. But I mean, Michigan's got some big boys down there as well. So I think overall it's pretty interesting, and Florida's 3-point chart is ugly as shit. That's all I got to say.
And then I want to peel off real quick to Iowa State. I mean, this 3-point arc, especially the left side of the arc, I mean, look at this hot spot. They've shot 723s. This is actually the second lowest on this graph, but I mean, they shoot it well. I mean, you can't deny that. 38%. I mean, I think that's the best on this board. Yeah, it is. And I'm actually curious. I didn't know Florida. So real quick, I mean, Arizona shot the fewest, but that doesn't mean they can't make them. I mean, they're about average in the country. 35% is pretty good. I mean, I think it's top half. I mean, as far as these teams go, that's about average with them competing. It's just like you said earlier. I wanted to comment on it as well. Live and die by the 2, that's a good thing to die on. I mean, that's high percentage shots. So you're scoring consistently. But, again, Florida, big post team, and corner 3 specifically on the left side. And then, so this is what the top teams in the country look like. And, let's check out some Cinderellas. This is just this is special. It's like one of those things where like it's so ugly, it's kind of beautiful. Chris.
Beautiful. Yeah. My favorite one to look at, obviously, is going to be Yale. I mean, they're shooting the shit out of that three ball, man. 40% from the year from three. I mean, it's unbelievable how good they are at shooting the three. And man, it's fun to look at. I mean, they're a team that I'm gonna let go dancing for a little bit. I mean, at least the
It's
round of
fucking nerds,
32.
man.
I love them. I love them. The coolest nerds in the world. Go ahead, Yale. I'll thank you forever for being Auburn. I'll thank you forever for that. That one
That
fed
was awesome. I
families.
remember that year. Holy
Chad Baker
shit.
Mazzara got ejected. I mean, I loved it because I don't like Auburn. Sorry, Auburn fans, if you're watching. That's just point blank, period. Your fans suck. And Kyle Guy deserved to be fouled. Anyways, we're moving on. Looking across the way here. Another one I thought was interesting was Troy. I mean, interesting because they suck. They don't actually suck, but man, they're really struggling here from, as you can see, the 3-point line. The left side of the floor doesn't look too pretty. But what's so weird is the Sun Belt has been a pretty tough conference this year. Just everyone's pretty equal. There's a seven-way tie, like I mentioned in episode 1. But Troy, I mean, took care of everyone they needed to when they needed to. Sun Belt Conference Championship, they laid the hammer down on Georgia Southern. So it's a pretty confusing thing to look at because overall, the numbers might not show excellence, but they're winning ball games. So we're going to have to see what happens in March. Right now, they're looking to draw Alabama, right, Tyler? In that
Yeah.
first round
Yeah.
matchup. And it's in-state. It's an in-state matchup. I'm sure both teams will travel. It'll be pretty interesting to look at. But Tyler, any other ones sticking out at you?
So what is points like sticking out to me is I kind of like how Hofstra looks over here. It's weird. It's kind of similar to Houston's, but reversed. We saw Houston have like almost total floor coverage as far as shooting goes. They shoot from just about anywhere, and so does Hofstra. But I mean, this 3-point arc is pretty impressive. A lot of red on it, except that far left corner. If you see it over there, you know if that's the game-winning shot. Don't hold your breath. And look at the paint. I don't think I've seen a paint shot selection this bad ever. They must be small. Is kind of what I've deducted from it. Both of us. But I don't think it really mattered, Chris. They're looking to drop Purdue right now. A team that is more undersized compared to the other favorites in the tournament, you know? And I think it's a winnable game, especially if they're pulling the trigger from 3.
I mean,
And I wanted to also...
They're gonna have
There
to
you
live
go.
by the 3 against Purdue. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to cut you off. But
Nah,
they'll have to live by the 3 against Purdue as well. I mean, although what's so interesting about this graph, looking at it, Tyler, is like look at those percentages. I mean, they're shooting 50% almost from inside the arc, and then outside the arc they're shooting 37, which is still great. That's still great, like for 3-point shooting. But they're hot. They're hot from outside the arc, and it looks like they live and die by the mid range and probably off ball screens, high ball screens, pick and roll that leads to middies. But it's just, I don't know, interesting to look at for the Pride.
Yeah, and I guess we can take a quick look at UNI and the other 3 we didn't really touch on. I mean, you can kind of see it. You get the idea. You don't really need our breakdown. I'm pretty impressed with UNI and their paint shots, and they're not terrible on the arc. Same goes for North Dakota State. You know, they won the Mountain League, or whatever the fuck it's called, Summit League. Whoops. And then High Point. I like High Point, but the shot chart's worrying me a little bit. Again, don't take it as gospel. We're just showing you data to try to make a
influence your
decision.
decisions. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So,
But don't be like, wow, they're terrible from the left side of the arc. I'm not picking them. It doesn't. Again, you don't know what's going to happen. All it takes is one fucking game, right?
absolutely.
I mean, to touch on a few other Cinderellas that we didn't cover, I mean, again, High Point is first in steals. Not that we didn't just cover them, but I just want to add that fact. They're first in steals, which is impressive. Another potential Cinderella is USF. They're top 50 in offense and defense, which is pretty impressive in my opinion for a mid-major, considering. Any other Cinderellas you want to touch on, Chris? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched a little bit on Miami of Ohio. Like, I think there's a
A
lot of
lot.
upside there. So we'll have to see what happens. Another one, Cinderella wise, is McNeese. I mean, they are first in forced turnovers. If that rings your bell at all, but I wouldn't really say I'm too high on McNeese, but it's an interesting stat to look at. And then once again, Yale. I mean, I think Yale overall is just pretty complete. Great 3-point shooting team, and they're top 5 in returning minutes. So I think they have a veteran team that's been here before. They've been in the tournament the last 2 years, and then they're coming in hot this season. We'll have to see, but if Yale gets their way in, I mean, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for our little nerds over there. So
They can probably produce some sort of formula. So I'm not really worried about Yale. They'll get the job done.
we'll see what happens.
But I think that wraps it up, Chris.
All right. Well, folks, thank you guys for tuning in. Week 2 of the TD Pod. Once again, weekly podcasts. Hope you guys enjoy them throughout March. It's our favorite time of year. So I'm a little bit of a college basketball junkie, and Tyler's becoming one. He's getting a little bit more junky. So
I'm on and off, man. It's
so,
what Michigan's doing this year. That's basically like what determines it.
yeah. So
That's not like academy.
but we appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoy the content, shit on us if you want. We don't care. We don't take shit personal. But we appreciate you guys watching. And till next week, I know you guys will be counting down the days. So till then, go Cats.
Go Blue.